Hi everyone, welcome to the virtual open day for International Business School Suzhou, or we say IBSS. My name is ChiaChi. I'm now the lecturer in organizational psychology in IBSS. It is really my great pleasure and honor today to have this opportunity to provide you information in this virtual open day in IBSS. So the major purpose of this video is to get you familiar with all the information you need to know related to IBSS as a prospective student. So to fulfill this purpose, I arranged 3 different parts in this video for you. First one, I will introduce you the general background about the knowledge area in business. So if in the first part of presentation, if you feel you are really interested in any small bit of the information, then maybe it means that it can be very appropriate for you to choose the business school to advance your study. The second part of this video is to get you have a bit information and experience about what it's like to learn in IBSS. So I will use my own teaching material in the IBSS, which focus on the human resource management and also organizational behavior, because these are the modules that I teach the most in IBSS. So I will try to demonstrate a bit teaching that I usually do in IBSS so that you can have a little bit experience about what is it like to study a degree in IBSS. And finally, in the third part, I will briefly introduce the background of IBSS to let you know what does IBSS look like, about the classrooms, about the buildings, and also what are the reasons for IBSS to become the youngest business school to get international accreditation. Okay, so the purpose today is to get you know about the area of business and then you get familiarized with IBSS. So during the process of my presentation, please, if you feel some difficulty in understanding the material, that is totally fine, okay? I think the purpose of this video is only to provide you some general experience about what it is like to learn in this area and learn in IBSS. But it does not mean that you need to get everything understood right away in this video. So just offering you a little bit experience, that will be the aim for this video. Okay, so if you are ready, let's start to the content for today. So the first thing that I would like to introduce you are the common areas in business. So when it comes to the term business, what does it mean? What can we learn when we visit a business school to learn in some degree from the business school? So the first area that you may involve in is economics. So the area of economics means the study about the production, about the distribution, and the consumption of goods and service. So put it simply, if you have some resources such as money, such as stock, or any other types of resources, how do you allocate it for individuals? How do you allocate it for companies or even governments, nations? So as you can be the most efficient way for the allocation. So for this area of topics, that would be fall in the area of economics. In the economics area, there are 2 main streams. First one is called macroeconomics. So macroeconomics focus on the economic market. Macroeconomics study the behavior of aggregated economy. So it's a higher level like the international trade or something. And the micro level, the second stream called microeconomics, would be the organizational resources for a company, the organizational strategy for a company. So it is rather focused on the individual consumers, individual companies. What is the demand? What is the supply for these individuals or companies? That would be the interest area for microeconomics. And then we have the area called management. So management is everything related to how you plan for a company, how you control the company into the correct direction, or how do you lead the company to do better. So management study how the business is operated. How do we improve the productivity? How do we increase the efficiency of a business organization? And if you still remember, I mentioned that my area is in organizational psychology. That is something belong to the area of management. So in the next slide, I of course will go into more detail about the management area for you. Other than economics and management, we also have the finance and accounting to be a common areas in business study. When it comes to finance and accounting, it can be the study about how do we use the professional standard to generate the annual report, to generate the balance sheets for the company in order to make a very clear examination about how this company is doing. So from the customer's perspective, from the supplier's perspective, from the investor's perspective, even all the creditors' perspective, the health examination of the company, of the business, can be something that rely a lot on the finance and accounting professions. So finance and accounting will study how can we make the best statement to illustrate the performance of the business operation. Okay, so now you have the basic background about what it's like in the business area. And now I will focus on the area of management. Today you have a deeper understanding about the knowledge of management. When it comes to management, to be honest, there are a lot of different streams, a lot of different categories of management knowledge that we can learn. So I will briefly pick 5 of the management areas to do some brief introduction to you. But of course, these are just some illustration. There are many different streams of management area that you can explore in your study in IBSS. So the first thing that you may learn in IBSS is the knowledge about strategy management. By saying strategy, it means the establishment of the goal of the company, so that the whole company needs to have a specific objective that they want to work on. The whole company, other employees, they need to have some consensus. What is the best goal to strive for, so that you can use this purpose to make the whole company as a whole to produce the best productivity. So strategy management will be develop a great business strategy to achieve the goal for this company. Then we have the area called marketing. All of us have experience in buying something, right? So thinking about buying a cell phone, when you are a customer, how do you make the decision? Did you make the decision because of the quality of the product, or because of the branding of the product, or because of any other reasons? So the knowledge in marketing management will be to increase our market share in the whole market. So if you are working in the marketing department for a company, then the problems that you need to solve would be how do you increase the sale number of the product. If you are working for a company that's selling cell phones, then of course you need to spend a lot of time to thinking about how to promote this cell phone in order to beat other competitors. Okay, that is the marketing management. And then let's talk about supply chain management. The idea of supply chain management is how do we manage the flow of goods and service to the customers. So thinking about the raw material of a product, how do you make the best arrangement for the raw materials into an actual product? And then after you finish producing such products, how do you make the most efficient way to deliver all these products into the store and then sell them to the customers? Okay, so supply chain management basically is the management of the process from the raw material into the final product into the customer's hand. So it is actually a very important process for all the business, for all the company to reduce their cost in producing the products. And then we have the management area called human resource management. So strategy management is about the thinking about the objective of a company. Marketing management will be how do we convince the customers. Supply chain management would be the product. And human resource management, the target would be the people. Human resource management is asking us to improve our process about managing our people, about motivating our employees, about managing our employees to achieve the best efficiency, productivity for the company. So human resource management means we need to learn how to manage our human resources in the company, manage our employees. And then finally, we have the organizational behavior. So the target of organizational behavior is the company itself. So everything about the company productivity would be the interest of organizational behavior. How do you improve the effectiveness of the organization? How do you improve the productivity of an organization? That will be the interest in the field of organizational behavior, which is also something I will go into detail in the presentation today. Okay, so here you see there are many different possibilities about learning in management areas. And now for the next slide, I will focus on the idea of human resource management as well as the organizational behavior to get you more detailed knowledge about business. Let's talk about human resource management and organizational behavior in terms of what is their purpose. Okay? So when it comes to human resource management, as I said, it's the management of people. By saying the management of people, it means how do you select a best employee for your company? How do you motivate them? How do you push these employees into the correct direction for your business? Finally, other employees, they need to learn something new. They need to keep advance their own abilities so that your business can achieve better performance every single year, for instance. So how do we train the employees in the organization to keep their good performance? This kind of scope will be the topic for human resource management. And if we switch our scope from the person into the company-wise, then we are talking about organization behavior. So when it comes to organizational behavior, it means how do we make the company a great environment for the business? How do we manage the design, the structure of the organization so that the people working in this company can easily have a better performance? This would be the area about organizational behavior. Okay, so of course, here are just some very abstract directions about the areas. And now I will start from human resource management, which is HRM, to get you more knowledge into the detail. When it comes to human resource management, there are many interesting questions that we need to learn, we need to study for HRM. For instance, first question, if you are running a business and then you are recruiting a bunch of employees to your company, then you may encounter a problem, that is, the new employee may not fulfill what you are requesting them to do. The new employee may do badly in this company. So when we encounter such problem, what should we do? What should we arrange in order to make the new employees in this company to be more competent? Sometimes we may face this kind of problem in human resource management, that someone's personality, someone's trait and characteristics does not really fit the position that you offer them in the company. So they got the position, but they are not really doing their comfortable working pattern, because the work that you allocate to them does not fit their own personality and characteristics. So what should we do to cope with this kind of problems? Or we may encounter something like, why the employee always be distracted? Okay, so they cannot have a very efficient working performance in the company. They cannot really concentrate on the work that they should do. They seems to be with a lot of distraction. Why can be the reasons? What can be the reasons? How to deal with this problem? Or what can be the reasons that even you increase the salary to your employees, but they still say that I don't like my job, I don't want to work here, I really want to change my company next year. So what can be the reasons? How do you deal with these problems? So these are some illustrations of the questions that we may need to ask in HRM, and that we need to learn how to deal with them in HRM. So specifically, when we talk about HRM, we need a lot of different knowledge to help us to solve the problems in HRM. So here, let me use an example about psychology. So how do we use psychology to help HRM? The process can be like this. So we will go back to the field of psychology, and then we will study some theory, study some principle, and some method that recommended in psychology, and try to apply all those psychological principles and method into the HRM in the organization so as to achieve the goals and then develop the organization. So here, let me have an example for you to get to know that how do we use psychology, the knowledge in psychology, to help us to solve the problems that we encounter in HRM. So for instance, in the area of psychology, there are a lot of research, a lot of knowledge is talking about we need to pay attention to the personality profile of an employee. So you need to know your employee's trait. You need to know the characteristics of the employee so that you can make the best use of the employee. Okay? So in the area of personnel psychology, there is 5 different personality traits that was said to be very important for us to analyze an employee. So when it comes to the personality analysis of an employee, based on the knowledge in psychology, we know that we can try to analyze the degree of outgoingness of the employee. How outgoing is the employee? How stable is the employee in terms of their emotional experience? How kind, how cooperative of the employee? How careful is the employee? And finally, about the openness. How open is the employee to try something new? How willing are they to do something different that compared to what they did before? Okay, so for instance, in the area of psychology, it reminds us, it is very important for us try to analyze, try to understand the 5 different personality traits of the employee, and you can use it to manage the human resource management process. For instance, when it comes to human resource management, there are a lot of different scope, a lot of different contents. So first thing, it relates to job analysis. It means that thinking about a sales job, what do they need to do? What is the job for a salesperson? What kind of personality would be the best to be the salesperson? If you are still remembering what we introduced in last slide, do you think that in terms of how outgoing is that person, are you going to pick someone who is outgoing, or are you going to pick someone who is not outgoing for the position of salesman? Okay? What if you are picking someone for a job that is doing research? Do you think you want someone to do the research in your company with a high level of carefulness? Or you want to pick someone who really don't care about detail, who only look at the big direction? Do you think these people are suitable to become the researcher in your research and development department? Okay, so first thing about the job analysis from the psychology of the personnel psychology, it teaches us when you think about the job, when you think about the position, you need to work on thinking about who is the best candidate to fill in this position so that you can make the best use, best benefit from the position. Okay? Then we can talk about people selection. We can talk about career and development. We may talk about performance management, talk about reward management, also welfare and safety, finally communication in the company. These contents are all important topics in HRM, in human resource management. Let me briefly to talk a bit for this area. So for instance, the 4th, performance management. When it comes to performance management, it means how do you increase the performance of your employees? How do you make the best use of the employees' competence to increase their productivity and efficiency in your company. So thinking about what we learned from last slide, there are many different personality of each different employees. Each employee, they have a different characteristics. Thinking about performance management, one of the implications that we may learn from the psychology is that every single employee is different. That is to say, when you try to manage their performance, when you try to increase their performance, as the manager, you may need different method. You may need different strategy to go for the management of their performance. For instance, if you have an employee who is really kind to others, who is really cooperative, and who is not there to do something based on their own decision. They are always looking for guidance. They always looking for a friend to work out their job. Then, as a leader, if you always tell this employee that you can decide, I can delegate this power to you, maybe you are creating a lot of uncertainty and pressure to this employee, because in nature, they tend to follow your suggestion. They really need a clear direction of their job. So when it comes to performance management, you need to pay attention to the different personality of the employees and then provide them different ways of coaching and leadership. This can be one of the implications about human resource management when it comes to performance management. Okay, so now you have an overall understanding about what it can be to learn human resource management. And the next part, let me go through the idea about what are the important questions that we will ask in the field of organizational behavior. In the organizational behavior, we focus on the overall wellness of the company. So the questions we would ask in OB would like, why do the employees are not willing to implement the decisions from the managers? How to narrow down the information gap between the company? How do we increase the employees' willingness to accept the organization's policy? What are the reasons for some negative behavior such as bullying would happen in the workplace? And finally, what can lead to the negative feelings of the relationship between the employees and the managers? So these questions related to the structure of the organization, related to the interaction between the people in this company, would fall into the area of organizational behavior. So when it comes to OB, there are a lot of different topics that we need to learn, that we need to analyze in this area. For instance, in the first row on the slide, you can see what kind of value we should build for the employee so that the company can do better. What kind of leadership we need to provide to the employees so that they will work better. Or how do we design the communication process? How do we manage the conflicts between the colleagues, the conflicts between the manager and the employees in order to achieve a better profit for the company? Or also, how do we design the organization? Should we make it a lot of different authority layers? Or should we make it really flat that every single employee, every single colleague got the equal power, equal decision making ability? in the groups in the company. So finally, about the culture, what kind of culture we should build for a company in order to make it successful. So these topics, if you think any of them could be interested to you, then it means you may find it pretty suitable to learn more about organizational behavior. So in my presentation today, I will use the role of emotion in organizational behavior to do it as an illustration for your learning. So in organizational behavior, thinking about the emotion of employees, we have a theory called affective event theory. It is very simple, very straightforward. It tells us that the emotion of the employees matter in the organization in terms of their performance. When they experience some negative events in the company, your employee will experience the emotion of anger, emotion of depression or anxiety. And this emotion has a very strong implication to their job satisfaction and performance. What can be the implication? It says that more negative events, such as the manager says something bad to the employee, the colleagues blaming each other, these kind of negative interpersonal events will increase their anger, depression, anxiety, emotion in this workplace. And then their job satisfaction, their performance will be reduced, which means the profit of your company will be reduced. Vice versa, the theory also suggests that if you can reverse the direction of the emotion, such as they experience some positive events. For instance, the manager goes to the employees and then take good care of them. Ask them what do they need. Ask them what do they feel. To make them feel that I'm an employee who is being valued in this company. Then this kind of positive experience in the company will produce some positive information, a positive emotion, such as happiness, such as excitement. And then they have an implication on the performance. That is, when they experience positive events, such as you provide them a very interesting project to work on, this will increase their emotion of excitement because they think they are really excited to try that kind of project. And then their job satisfaction, their job performance will be increased, which means the profit of your company, the revenue of your company will be increased. Okay, so this is an illustration how the knowledge of employee emotion can matter in organizational behavior. Okay, excellent. So now you have a little bit taste about what it's like to learn some knowledge in business, especially what is the feeling if you join IBSS and then study an organizational behavior module with me in IBSS. So again, I want to remind you that if you think that the information that I just provided was really heavy, that is totally fine, because it is really normal that we cannot learn so much information during such a small period of time. What I did was just trying to provide you a little bit experience about what it can be to learn business knowledge with me. So this is the second part of the presentation to give you some experience about learning in HRM and OB. And now let's get ready to move on to the third part. So if you still remember, we will introduce you the background of IBSS. What does IBSS look like? And what can be the reasons that IBSS is doing so well in recent years. Now let's start by looking at a brief video that introduces the environment of IBSS to you. Thank you very much for your engagement, and now let's move to the video. Thank you. Great, I hope you enjoyed the video. And for now, I believe that you have a very vivid visual image about how IBSS look like. So on the slide, again, you can see some photos from our IBSS campus. So the first picture is the central library in the university, and the others are the photos taken from the IBSS campus. And then now let me take you through some important background information about IBSS at Xi'an Liverpool University. So overall, I think as a part of the vibrant Xi'an Liverpool community, IBSS is able to offer the faculty and students valuable opportunities, including cross-disciplinary partnership in research, in learning, and teaching. So the location is really special because we are really near to Shanghai. So Suzhou is actually one of the fastest growing commercial centers in this eastern corridor. This dynamic environment is helping to launch IBSS into the position as an international leader in business education and research. So as you can see it on the slide, IBSS should be a very ideal study abroad destination to all the international students. We offer the English language environment on campus, and we have the UK quality assurance, which means the teaching material, the education you receive in this university in IBSS is not only monitored by the Xi'an Liverpool University itself, but also is also monitored by the external institution, that is the University of Liverpool. So we can know that the teaching we conduct in IBSS is definitely achieving a high international standard. And also we provide some comprehensive student support or the academic advisor to help all the exchange students and international students. So next, let me take you through some important history milestones of IBSS. So it was 2013 that IBSS was established. When it was first established, it has a unique blend of the Western and Chinese academic practices. And then 1 year later, IBS launched the International MBA for executives, which means in IBSS, not only the undergraduate programs or the postgraduate programs, we also have the executive education in IBSS. And then in 2015, we have a lot of international professional accreditation and recognition for IBSS's performance. And then something very difficult to achieve, but it was very positive for IBSS is that only through the 3 years or 4 years or so of time, IBSS got the accreditation of AACSB. So now it is something as a world record because IBSS is actually the youngest business school ever to gain AACSB accreditation. Not only AACSB, but also we received the ACQUIS accreditation in 2018. So because of the double crown, by saying double crown, it means that we received the AACSB, we also received the ACQUIS, which are something not easy for the business school in the world to achieve, especially in a relatively short of time. So with such double crown, I think it is pretty clear that IBSS is a world-class business school with a high international recognition worldwide. Next, in terms of our faculty, IBSS researchers are generating knowledge and new insights to the society by bridging the research collaboration between East and West. So, as you can imagine, the composition of the IBS faculty is also with a variety of background, coming from more than 20 nationalities, and we have nearly 100 faculties who were the professors, associate professors, or lecturers to conduct all the teaching in IBSS. And something I think that worth mentioning is about our professional service team, because we have a very strong professional service team to help out all the career services for the students. So for instance, the professional service team will help provide a venue and support the campus recruitment events. They promote the employers via diversified communication channels. They match the students to the specific needs of potential employers, and they customize the collaboration plans with the employer to utilize the best opportunities for our students to get into the real world, real business. So the students in IBSS actually have a very great opportunities for the student internship, because we have the high quality internships which allow the students to contribute to the real world projects when experiencing day-to-day operational management. Companies offering internship to the students, companies offering the student to directly benefit from the insights and services of students who are fluent in English. So all those IBS faculties are actually trying very hard to bring our students positive learning experience during their time in IBSS. And then there are a lot of corporate partners from IBSS, because we also spend a lot of effort in our business engagement. So as you can see a list, that would be the illustration. So during the learning time in IBSS, the student actually have some opportunity to join some in-company project, Because I think that in today's challenging environment, companies must be proactive in the marketplace. Success requires actively analyzing new trends and developments. So our members in IBSS actually boast strong profession as well as academic backgrounds, provide a strategy analysis, and with such collaboration with the company, this program actually match the companies with student teams and the faculty advisor to produce some customized research or project. And then let's talk about the degree we offer in IBSS. So generally speaking, there are a lot of undergraduate programs as well as the postgraduate programs. So in the undergraduate program, there could be the accounting, bachelor in accounting, bachelor in business administration, bachelor in economics and finance, bachelor in human resource management, and so on. And then on the right hand side, you see the postgraduate level such as the master in accounting, master in finance, and master in project management. So the degree for the undergraduate degree will be the double degree, which means you will not only get the degree from Jiao Tong Liverpool University, but also from the University of Liverpool. For the alumni, IBSS alumni are actually in the international community. So we have over 5,000 alumni from 35 countries. So they are really making great contribution of IBSS, and they have become a valuable asset for the development of IBSS brand reputation. More than 80% of our undergraduate alumni continue their further study at top universities, including Oxford, Cambridge, Imperial College London, University College London, London School of Economics, University of Warwick, University of Sydney, or National University of Singapore, and so on. As for the alumni from the graduate program, they also join the Big Four accounting consulting firms, the very famous financial institution, as you can see, such as the HSBC. Okay, so these are the important background information that we hope you can know when you plan about your future study in IBSS. Thank you very much for your concentration and your engagement in this presentation. I hope that you can find something really helpful to build on your own academic career in the future. Thank you very much for joining us on the virtual open day today. Thanks.